Right.
Are we ready?
Guys, the lawyer, my position, and the vice president is here.
So we are good to go. Thank you so much, Acting President, Leader of the Opposition in the House, senior leaders of the party, members of the press, thank you so much. We don't have enough time. We will ask. You know? Okay, let's go to the outside there because the police are taking us.
Just take a photo.
So, Honorable Munduvire, please address the meeting.
Yes, Honorable Nakacinda was arrested and charged with 2 offenses. One, defamation of the president, and the other one, proposing violence. I'm sure all of you brothers and sisters know the transaction from which these offenses have been derived. Honorable Nakacinda was campaigning in Kawata, and I remember that on the day I was in his company. So this is the very first time in our political history that we're having to get the police to traverse political statements. As far as we know, a political statement should be traversed by another political statement. So the statements he made were political. The first one was a mere figure of speech. Every other Bemba, Nyanja, Tonga have used this particular phrase before. We are now surprised that, for political reasons, our brother has been victimized. And secondly, when he mentioned the project that he intended in Chilenje, if at all it was not true, we expected another politician to go there and traverse that particular step. But in this case, our colleagues in the ruling party are abusing state machinery, calling in the police to come and traverse statements that are made on the political platform. So we are also saddened further by the fact that the honorable member was detained even without being arrested. And this is something that we've talked about every day. It seems the police are acting against the law deliberately because the president is on record to say that he will rule this country using the rule of law and that he will not allow people to be detained unnecessarily without being given bond. The law further provides, after detaining someone, you should explain to them thoroughly why you are detaining them. So if the police are doing their job, they should first of all investigate. If they're thoroughly investigated, the offense for which they were picking Honorable Nakacinda, they would have released him on bond. So arrests must be made for offenses and not for inquiries. That is what the law says. But in this particular case, what we're witnessing is something totally different. So he's here, he has been released on a police bond.
I think mine is first of all to thank the party led by the acting President Honorable Luvinda, the leader of opposition, members of Central Committee, senior members of the party, Honorable Professor Kanduruo, Honorable Jean Kapata, who have provided support, our members, our colleagues, at all levels within the party that have come to stand with me in solidarity. This is the culture that we must continue to build as Patriotic Front, because basically it's very clear Misaka Inde Ichilema will not let go. He will continue to harass members of Patriotic Front from the grassroots to the highest level. The issue here, Honorable Vice President, is basically Kabwata. Tabalelala iyo bakainde. Icha shiana kwambo nokufoyo kupikula ma idioms nentambi omina ndile tulanda muchibemba. My advice to my brother Misaka Indechirema. We know that you came on the political scene through tribal, proposals. But you are now Republican president and you are supposed to advance one Zambia, one nation. There are sayings in Bemba, and that's how come I'm donating a book to you called Insoselo Namapinda, so that you can learn how the Bemba language is spoken. Ukwevo muntu kutila, teka matako panshi tensere yo. We're just saying tusha mune, chiu. Think before you act, otherwise you are going to crash. Muchibemba walando kutila, munshebwa, aide nama fikubuko. If you don't listen to the advice that you are getting from opposition, like the Vice President has continued to have press briefings to raise issues that are affecting the Zambian people. Chika kumuse vanya. So we'll continue in Kabwata. We know they are targeting our candidate, Clement Tembo. I'm the campaign manager. They have attempted to intimidate me. It's amazing that one of the conditions they gave me for bond is to lift my fingerprints, which is illegal. They detained me illegally yesterday. Today they have picked my fingerprints. I don't know where Misaka is taking those fingerprints. Or maybe he wants to incriminate me, that I don't know. Honorable Vice President, my job you gave me is to speak on behalf of the party. Akanwa kataka kesari kebali mperenchito. Yakulandire chipanicha Patriotic Front. And that's my job. I will speak here, I'll speak tomorrow, I'll speak in Kabwata. That is my responsibility. So let him just brace himself. Manawasa said, I have a thick skin. Icha shupa wa kubwengo kwa thick skin. Ishan. Paranoia in the morning, paranoia at lunch, paranoia in the evening. Honorable Vice President, I call upon you. This book on internet, I will derive it on either tomorrow or Monday. I'm to go state house to go pay la kosa tuwa devenenga. Kuishi weko chibemba, iwa professor.
I'd like to address myself to members of the party, and I'd like to reiterate what I said at the press briefing that I last addressed. And that is to say, brace yourselves for the hard times in which we find ourselves. It's not going to be a smooth road ahead of us. It's going to be extremely hard, and all of us have to be steadfast. What is important is for us to know that we are stronger together and weak alone. The show of solidarity that has been made today for Honorable Raphael Nakacinda is what must continue. We must continue on this trajectory. We must not allow anyone to intimidate us. We must make sure that we stand together, because this is our country together. And there is no democracy without opposition. This party is here to stay, and it's going to oppose, and we shall oppose objectively. So I want to thank you, all members of the party, for showing this solidarity. When Raphael Nakacinda continue to be resolved, we are all resolved. We are all ready to arrest. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow! Wow! What you? What you? Yeah! What you?
Why you going from the village and making it? Now we are talking the festival. Young people, you must begin to introspect the zeal with which you went to vote and make premature judgment and experimented with leadership. Look at what we're going through. I think we'll be able to address other issues later. Thank you.
All the best now.
Yes, good evening. Good evening,
Even trying to harass us. His defense is to make sure that fuel becomes cheap. His defense lies in making sure that fertilizer scandals are investigated and those who are responsible are brought to book. Free education needs to be fulfilled. In Kabwata, they want to win. Even if they change that candidate from Zimbabwe and they bring from Tanzania, we will still beat them. That is a must, because the people of Kabwata are speaking on behalf of the Zambian people in protest against increase in fuel, increase in bus fares, increase in mini-meal, and many other atrocities that they have committed in 5 years. I mean 5 months. So basically that is the message we're taking in Kabwata. So this business of saying "Bala tukaka, bala tukaka, febe tukaya mkuini."
Billy.